Hi, everyone. Trying to make sure I jump on here every day to share about what's going on with my businesses and just provide an entrepreneurial um, viewpoint of navigating the coronavirus and, um, pivoting and adapting and just figuring out day by day. So, um, one of the highlights of today, I get to give a talk about building a legacy brand to one of the local networking groups that we love to go to. It's called Women in Wine, and it's hosted by Rustic Grape Wine Bar and an amazing couple that's behind that. And of course, right now they are closed. They are not open for, you know, anything right now. They do have option of doing some retail sales potentially, but right now it's time for them to reflect and pause and think about their brand. So we were supposed to be the speakers last week at the live networking event, and of course that didn't happen. So she asked us to try doing it virtually, and we had about 10 of us in the Zoom chat, and everybody introduced themselves, talked about their businesses for a little bit, and then I dove into giving a kind of mini presentation about, building a legacy brand and things you can do to help you think about your brand long term, grow your brand, think bigger about your brand, all those wonderful things. And then my business partner with Creative Hub Studios, Julieta Thunberg, she focused on kind of talking through what we did as a brand to build up our brand in 30 days and how we're pivoting a little bit and some of those specifics. So it was really fun. I felt like it was, hopefully informative, and I just keep surprising myself how much I enjoy the teaching element that I'm reconnecting with. And I just went through and purchased my e-course that is now available on Creative Hub Studios, just to make sure that, everything lines up the way it should and works the way it should. So that is live, and that's really exciting. I've done e-courses in the past for, different outlets, like Udemy. I have a course on Udemy. But it feels special to launch our first e-course for Creative Hub Studios because we want to not only create presentations, courses, lessons, all kinds of different things that we teach either individually or co-teach, which is what we do when we're in person usually. We tag team, but we also want to invite other, people that maybe don't have an e-course platform or don't want to bother with that, but still have, a presentation or a course or a lesson or whatever they want to share. So we want to partner with people that want to sell their e-courses on our website, obviously a partnership affiliate sense where we make a split by being the host and helping promote it. And, we have a podcast, so we want to interview people. And so people that, upload a course would then also be an interview and have a blog post with us and be on our podcast. And so there's just so many ways that we can collaborate with people and help provide resources that, bottom line, build better brands. So a strong brand with an amazing community behind it that has cultivated a community filled with like-minded people. Those brands will survive things like this, the future disruptions that are going to happen, because this isn't going to be the last one. COVID-19 is not the last time your business is going to face challenges. So we're all about encouraging everyone to really take a hard look at their brand and figure out how it can improve and figure out what they need to do to grow their community and make a bigger impact in the world, and especially with their local community by, collaboration and fundraising for organizations they care about and all those wonderful things. So yeah, it was really fun. It's obviously way different than just giving the talk in person. There's the technical side. There's launching a watch party while you're trying to give a live video so that it goes on more Facebook channels. We already had 200 views on the Facebook Live, even though within the Zoom there was only about 10 people. But that's totally okay, right? Like it was really fun. It was really interesting and just heartwarming to see some of these fellow female entrepreneurs in town show up and want to learn a little bit. And, I try to give some takeaways. So I just want to do a lot more stuff like that. So if it's a live class, I think that would be great to mix in. I've done several now where I've taught lunch and learns live on Zoom. Now I did get this presentation live on Zoom, and we pushed it to Facebook Live. So there's a lot of ways to just be real and authentic and roll with it. That's what I want to do with this video. And, I am finding it difficult to just jump out of bed and start a work day. And I've always had trouble. I'm not a morning person. It's 8 o'clock right now. I could work for 2 to 3 more hours, and I kind of will with different things that I'm up to. But when I sit down and batch my work and knock out these to-dos and knock out these to-dos and realize that thinking and planning and dreaming and organizing is a big piece to all of this. So this week we're kind of focusing on, we kind of have like a brand, like how to build your brand week. So we gave the talk today. Friday we're going to do a branding webinar at noon, and it's going to be based off the talk we did today. I have a new class that just launched. I mentioned how we built the brand in 30 days e-course. So we kind of have a theme, and we're going to have a brainstorming session where we come up with all kinds of t-shirt and posters and merch ideas around branding and just words of wisdom that we've, kind of heard or came up with over a few decades of being digital marketers and having our own separate agencies. And we think we can get an ebook built. We think we can get another e-course built. We do sometimes make our ambitions a little too lofty, but it makes us get stuff done, and we're always moving the needle on the things that matter the most to us. So, it's been really fun creating, and I'm actually working right now on adopting my Bring a Social Media Shitstorm in 30 Days boot camp that was designed as an email course where every day you get a lesson emailed to you. Makes it very chunkable. Sometimes people sit down and do 5 lessons at once. Sometimes people just knock out each lesson per day. And there's a pre-checklist and a post checklist. So that was specifically designed for brewers and people in the brewing industry. So I'm going to edit that and make it a little bit more universal for any industry. But then we're also going to take that same kind of format and go really granular with other industries. So, kind of taking the core concepts, which is the same stuff we talk about all the time, which we talked about tonight, like building a legacy brand that is sustainable and can grow and can, roll with the punches of reality and what happens to us and be ready for the next bump in the road, like the next pandemic or the next recession. So, just a lot of good stuff and a lot of focus and, kind of reality check of what can we accomplish in a week, what's possible, and getting excited about the things we can create in the ways. The big thing that we're focusing on is like, how can we serve our community? What does our community need now? How do we, tie in? Yes, you've got to pivot and react and adapt to what's going on right this moment, but you also have to think long term. You have to think about the audience. You have to think about your ideal customers and all those things that build strong brands. So that's a little bit of what we're up to this week. And tomorrow, I'm going to be working on just tweaking the slideshow about branding for the branding webinar we're going to do on Friday at noon. And just plug along with, some personal projects with the Great Reset. We've got like 10 podcast episodes now. You can find it everywhere. We're using Podbean. So now it's on all the different channels. I don't know if we got approved for iTunes yet, but that's obviously going to happen. And so that's exciting. And Juliette and I are also launching our Creative Hub Studios podcast. And then we're going to be regularly loading the interviews we're doing with entrepreneurs on our YouTube channel. So if you want to chat with us, you're a fellow disruptor, and you have, insights and advice about your pivoting and what you're seeing, companies do to survive this and thrive even through this and set themselves up for success post COVID-19. So reach out, and we'd love to chat with you. And thanks for listening.